morning, afternoon, wherever you're at in the world. Blue Flame Integration here coming at you. Boy, do I have to tell y'all what happened. Talked a little bit to summer solstice last night when I got home from yeah, what I thought would be a productive um the energy was weird. That's all I have to say. That's the only thing I can really chalk it up to. Is the energy was weird. Because when I walked in there with my resolve, it's like he was able to how can I put this? He knew once I'm talking to, okay. Let me go back. Sorry. Okay, I started dating somebody back in January. Another Aries. And I've talked about him. And I'm not going to talk negative. I'm just going to say about these karmic things. And it is kind of negative, but not meant to be negative toward him, but more the karmic cycle coming to a close and that negative energy and the energy of people using you for your energy and your manifesting power and how they steal it from you. So, and when they get what they want, then they leave. Um, or they start treating you differently. Can I get a hell yeah? He can sit there and say whatever he wants about whatever. I'm not going to talk bad about him. I blocked him. He is now out of my life. I realized, and I'm grateful for the experience because it was like I watched. It was a test. The universe gave me one last test. Any of you have one last test? If anybody's on here, hit the like button. And you want to know what had nothing to do with his family. His family is great. The only belongings I didn't get back, and I'm gonna have to ask. I still have his mom. Hi, who's everyone here? If you can say hi if you want to talk. His dad has some of my books from school, and I don't have a problem with his parents. His parents are pretty nice people. But um, one of the things about my ex was he was always into pleasing his um his dad because his dad never gave him the validation growing up until now. He found a good girlfriend. He started getting shit in order. He started doing the right things. He manifested a job that he had no business manifesting. Um, and as soon as he got that job, he started treating me bad. Started neglecting his responsibilities as a boyfriend. Started neglecting me. He ditched me 3 weekends in a row for excuses. He can sit there and say whatever he wants. The truth always comes out. But yeah, I realize with that type of person that they use you for your energy and your time. And I have no time for people like that. So yesterday when I went there, I was kind of smart. But he even emotionally manipulated me in the process of this because he saw that I was gathering my things and I kept on saying, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to, what is your plans here? Well, I'm afraid when you get your things, you're never going to come back. You're, you're afraid when I get my belongings from your house, I'm never going to come back. Why would I, if you're going to treat, okay. He's like, do you want to watch this movie? It was called Inception. And it kind of almost reminded me of like this dual plane right now that we're living on. Like the subconscious sleep realm and how people can get into your dreams. Like he's playing this movie and it's all I can think of is karmic energies that come and invade your mindscape and your dreamscape when you um, break up in narcissistic people. That has happened to me in the past. Um, yeah, I'm not going to not take responsibility in my part because that would not be fair and just. I did give him the benefit of the doubt at first until I started to see these little red flags start poking up. Like, and then he would make excuse for those red flags. And this isn't, I could have been self-sabotaging some of it. Good morning, Jess. How are you? I could have been self-sabotaging some of it. Absolutely. Because I was guarding myself and I was guarding my heart. I know my self-worth now and I know what my energy is worth and I know my manifesting power. And so did he. Let me tell you what happened with all of this. I met him back in December. He was at the lowest of low when I met him. He wasn't leaving his house. He wasn't going anywhere in life. He was dealing with an addiction to crystal meth. He had a girlfriend who, or should I say, somebody who was just friends with, uncommittal, who was in it. He was in and out of her life. So why wouldn't he do the same thing to me, which he tried to? And I put a clink to it and said, fuck that. He tried to pull that uncommittal thing last night that he just wanted to be single. Okay. Well, you're not going to be around me then. He didn't like that idea. He still wanted me to spend the night with him. When I said, this is where my standards are, this is where my boundaries are, this is what I saw happen, this is what people had told me you've done in the past, this is the red flags that I see, but yet you don't want to prove otherwise. Well, I shouldn't have to prove otherwise. You should just know. No, I'm feeling your energy, boo-boo. I feel your energy. That's what you don't get. My manifesting power and my psychic ability to read people is way beyond you. I'm going to trust my instincts and I'm going to trust my my gut instincts. Even if somebody were to tell me these things, I can read whether or not they're just jealous and telling me these things, or if they're telling me these things out of concern, general concern. I can see the difference. Now, to make a long story short, his parents are beautiful people. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful people. I have no problem with his mother and father. They might have a problem with me at this point, but I doubt that. They know how he is. They know him better than anybody. So, like, when I went there yesterday, he did make his mom aware that I was coming, because yes, he lives in his basement with his mommy and has no intention on ever getting his own place. But his mom is older. His dad bought them a house. And like, I'm looking toward the future, and he claimed he was looking toward the future, but then all of a sudden it's all about his job. Now he wants to neglect a relationship for his job. When I was there yesterday, he brought up a very interesting thing. He mentioned, where the woman in the office, I guarantee you, he's trying to, get with somebody at work. I feel it. Because once he started that job, his interest in me started to dwindle. That guy cannot be alone. He wanted me to spend the night with him after and I made a mistake. Yes, I did. But I closed the karmic cycle last night too. Okay. The way this timeline went, and you're going to see this with karmic people. Thank God it was only less than 2 months. The way this timeline went, I met him in December at his lowest, darkest point. He didn't want to leave his house. He didn't want to go out. He didn't have a job. He didn't have a vehicle. His vehicles broke down. He was dealing with meth. He was dealing with a meth addiction. He was dealing with a girl who was in and out of his life too. And he's part of the reason. And he treated her so good, and what he would do for the right person. He played it up real well. And at first he did treat me okay. Up until about Valentine's Day, and he got this job. Okay. Fast forward. You all saw who he was. He was another Aries, and he was very stubborn. So right away, I had a connection with all the stuff that had happened to him, and I have a lot of empathy, and I could read him like a book from the first 20 minutes he walked in here, and I was able to tell him, I understand right where you're at, because I was dealing with the same fucking thing with people. But he wasn't telling their side of the story, only his own, of what they were doing and how they were acting, and what, well, Lisa's not stupid. Lisa picks up on things real fucking quick. I could pick up on an emotional manipulator once I spend a little bit of time with them. I as an Aries, would give somebody the benefit of the doubt for so long. And I used to do it for way too long, and then I get stuck. Well, I am not crying over this one. I mean, I was a little upset on Monday because I broke up with him on Sunday. And yeah, I broke up with him a couple times because I started noticing these red flags. And then, we still talked and stayed in communication. I never went no contact because I just wasn't sure. And he came up with great excuses. And his parents backed him up. So it was like, well, you're going to believe what everyone else is saying, but you're not going to believe me. Well, you're showing what everybody else is saying in your actions. That's why I always say watch actions. Do not listen to words. Well, his words actually lined up with his actions, and last night, finally, his words lined up with his actions when I was getting ready to leave. But I went over there, I think it was roughly around 5:30 to pick up my belongings, because I had left some stuff out there. And as I'm gathering my things, oh yeah, he used the feel sorry. He used me for my manifesting power. Let me tell you what all happened here. I'm going to do the timeline here. He met me in December. He used the victim card. But he truly was in a very sad... I'm not doing this to cut him down at all. Don't think that. This is the karmic cycle that ended on the Pisces new moon and Uranus transit. Both him and I are Aries, so we've dealt with this Uranus screwing with us. So I feel for him for that. We both were dealing with this Uranus transit. Like, we have such parallel stuff. We have such parallel stuff that has happened in our relationships that I could empathize with him. And I got it. And he knew that I got it. So, I need a drink of water. And just so y'all know, I've been eating very little. I've been fasting and listening to a lot of Matt Kahn stuff. And the stuff that this guy said to me last night was a bunch of fucking bullshit. He was projecting. I'm positive. He was a freaking low-level narcissist whose ex-Gemini stopped giving him the supply he needed. And he was starving for freaking supply. I'm pretty sure that's what I was dealing with. Because, and this is what happens, what happened was, and should have been a red flag at the beginning, but what happened was we met in the middle of December. I got the poor pity me. He wanted to immediately jump into a relationship. Then when he went home, he kind of gave me every excuse, and he got sick, and then he did this, and then, no, you know what? He was still messing around with that Gemini and trying to figure out what he wanted to do with her first before he decided to get with me. Till he had enough of her and made sure that she was out of his life. A matter of fact, during that time lapse of December 15th through New Year's, guess what he did? Moved her ass back in his house because she went homeless and they were such good friends. And he didn't want to see her homeless. Well, something had happened that he tossed her out. And within a couple days, her stuff was still at his house when I started dating him. He's on the horn with me. Guess when he got a hold of me? January 5th, when Uranus went direct. At the exact time Uranus went direct in Aries. So I knew, all right, either this is a soulmate thing and we're meant to work on some things together, or this is a karmic cycle that's going to need to end. I don't know who all got on here, but there's only one person showing up. So either way, he got a hold of me January 5th. What happened was during that time of that separation between when he left, got sick, made excuses, I cut contact and did my own thing. I just did my own thing and worked on myself. And even with this, like, I'm continuing to try and get my shit in order, but I'm not crying over this one. He has no right to. I did for a little bit. I mourned a little bit, but that mourning was for the amount of a little effort that I had to actually put in to, I'd say time more than effort, a little bit of time, because we were only together for 2 months and I started seeing his bullshit within 5 weeks. Even before that, I started taking mental note in my mind. I see this, and I see this. Let's watch. I saw the love bombing. I was love bombed for the first month. Yeah. He wanted to get in good with my kids. He wanted to get in good with my parents. My parents were the first ones that actually liked him, and now I see why. Because he treats women like trash once he gets what he wants. If he's on a stable path, because this was the worst he's probably ever been. He was down in the dumps. He was, oh, poor pity me. He was the he would sit there and refer to the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where, you know, where, I don't know if you all saw that movie, but there's one thing where the guy, his name Peter, who he got broke up with by his girlfriend, and he's sitting there at the piano because he does music and stuff, and he's playing this song saying, "Peter, you suck. Peter, you suck." Yeah. That's where he was. Like, he was in his own mind of self-worth, thinking that he sucked. Or at least that's what he was telling me. And then he felt that he wasn't able to bring anything to the table for me, which he technically wasn't. He was taking, what he did is he ended up coming in and taking from me. However, I was able to preserve a lot of my energy, and thank God it did not last that long. And I saw the same thing happen with the Scorpio, because that lasted about the same amount of time. Lasted about the same amount of time. 2 months for the first cycle. And then the uncommittal shit started. Well, I don't want, which I'm going to get into. But, oh yeah, we were great. But like he brought me right into his circle. His mom and dad both really like me, and his dad doesn't like anybody. But his dad liked me. He knew I was a smart woman. They thought like some of my responses to his bullshit, because I'm sure he didn't tell them the whole story of what he was doing and what I was seeing and what I was feeling was I know he didn't tell them the whole story. He basically told them that I got mad because he wasn't coming over to my house on the weekends. No, it had to do with the neglect and the lies that I was catching onto. And the fact I knew deep in my heart and in my soul, there was other people he was talking to. He can sit there and lie and say he wasn't, even if it was on a friendship emotional level, I know for a fact he was talking to other people behind my back. What did I do during this whole time? Anybody who knows me, dude, I had a guy who was trying to, when I went out one night, I knew him, old friend, you know, came in, tried to schmooze me. And this was during our first breakup. One of three, which, I mean, that's a big red flag. But because I know my self-worth now. I know the power of manifestation. And I understand what it means to give your energy to somebody and then they manifest what's rightfully yours until you take your power back because of your support and your love and your care. Not anymore, buddy. Well, Uranus came in direct January 5th. I was on a date that night with somebody else who I really wasn't feeling it with. Excuse me, I really wasn't feeling it with. It just wasn't. He was friends with a different ex, and it was too close to where my other ex. And then what happens? 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a message after a couple weeks of on and off messages. I hope you're okay. You know, just wanted you to know I didn't forget about you. And I'm like, whatever, I'm doing my own thing. Have a nice one. I was very closed off to any kind of emotional anything with him. And he knew he was about to lose me or not get me at all. So what does he do? And I could post all the love bombing messages. All of them. This girl came in and wrecked his world for 3 freaking years. That was his karma for being a fucking player. His whole life, he's cheated on everybody he was with. I didn't know this. I didn't know this until we got together and I was already fully invested emotionally. And then him saying, I wanted to give to you what I didn't give to anybody else. No, a leopard don't change your fucking spots. And a cheetah is always going to be a cheetah. Period. Karmics can't go without multiple sources of validation from people. When he got with me, guess what happened? From the start, he gets rid of the gypsy, as what he called her. And I don't want this to sound like I'm trying to fucking down him, because I'm not. It's just who he is. I picked his ass up from the lowest of low, and he can sit there and say, oh yeah, that was just you who did this. It was, motherfucker. You knew. He knew who I was. He knew the manifesting power I had. He knew my intuition was always spot on. And he played right into the card of spirituality and all that shit. But like an Aries, he's stubborn as fuck. And he tried to say, I knew what was, I felt it coming. And call it self-sabotage or whatever you have. It was a karmic cycle that was ending from energy that I could not trust. If I can't trust somebody, there's no point. There's really no point. When trust is gone, I mean, I'm not even saying that I think he emotionally cheated. Oh yeah. I'm positive he was talking to other people behind my back. And I'm pretty sure he's macking on a woman at work. That's what my intuition was telling me. Pretty sure he was macking on a woman at work. In the office. He mentioned her name yesterday. Her name's Amanda. So, they tell on themselves. And when your intuition and your high priestess is screaming and something doesn't sound right, because he was showing me his uniforms for work. I mean, he came out on a real nice level and kind of drew me in energetically again. I made a mistake. He wanted me to spend, like I said, he wanted me to spend the night with him. And I was like, oh, fuck no. Not with an uncommittal energy. I'm not going there with that. Either we're working on our issues and our shadows still together, or I'm out. If this isn't equal, oh no, I'm good. His whole thing is, I'm good now. I don't need you. You were the catalyst to push me out of the nest, and now I'm flying. That's what he said to me. So he knows I was the catalyst for his good fortune. And now he doesn't need me anymore. Is basically what he said. And I don't care. That was his whole attitude. Well, you want to know what happened on Monday? When he went into work? He was swinging a sledgehammer. I broke up with him on Sunday. Monday, and I don't want to smile when I say this, his arm and shoulder and everything is all messed up. He hurt himself at work within 2 weeks and had said something. Do you want to know what I was going to do? And I held myself back from doing it because I wanted to see his response and how he treated me when I went out there. Like I said, when I started gathering my things, and I actually was gathering my things and putting them in my bag to take home, he saw me doing that. And he's like, oh, I'm just afraid like you're not ever going to come back. Once you leave, you're not coming back. Well, I said, I just honestly, if this stuff can't get resolved, I don't want my belongings here, like what happened with the ex, and me have to drive here and get my shit while there's another chick's car sitting in your driveway, like what you did to her. You're not doing that to me. Sorry. You want to know what? You're going to be on your own. You want to bring somebody else out here, it's not going to be with my belongings here. You be totally free. I know my self-worth. I know what I deserve, and it isn't to be treated like shit. I know what an emotional manipulator looks like. And that's what he tried to do with me last night. Is he tried to emotionally manipulate me, in which he was semi-successful until the conversation. Look, I knew this was coming. We all know that this was coming. Uranus went direct on the 5th. He got a hold of me at the exact time Uranus went direct. On the 5th of January. It's when we started dating. My son's birthday. Interesting fact. And then, over the course of the time, he started getting better and better and better. And spirit started making me pull back and listen to my intuition and focus on the red flags and the relationship and what's happening behind the scenes. And that's why I couldn't put my best foot forward when it came to doing readings and stuff like that. And I think it had to do with learning this lesson for the last time, this karmic cycle that I've been dealing with for 11 years. I've been dealing with these type of people where they come in, they want a relationship, then shit happens. I call them on their bullshit. They pull back, and then all of a sudden they want an uncommitted relationship. They want the benefits with friends with benefits then. And let's see what happens. No, motherfucker. That ain't how I roll. This isn't yeah. PlayStation 4 with him. I'm not going to let you get away with treating me like shit, like you have everybody else. I'm going to watch his red flags. And I did. And I saw them. This guy can't be alone. This guy, I guarantee, will have somebody in his bed by this weekend. I guarantee it. If not by tonight. And if this woman at work, that I'm pretty sure, it's just something my gut's telling me, I should pull cards on it just to be sure. But I've already saw some readings that pretty much had said he's cheating. Or this person would be cheating. Well, I pulled the cord on that shit real fast. I had the feeling people were warning me this person will never change. They thought when he got with somebody stable that he would change. And he did change. And when he got what he wanted from me, he used me. When he got what he wanted from me, he no longer needed me. And then he could move on to other sources of supply because he's a low-level narcissist. He's an emotional manipulator. And the fact that he thought I was going to, spend the night with him. Oh, fuck no, you got the wrong girl. Welcome to dating another Aries. You think you're stubborn? Fuck you. You're like, oh, well, this is a battle you'll never win. This shouldn't be about being a battle. This should be about coming to a common ground. And what you'll accept and what I'll accept. Well, I'm not going to accept uncommittal energy in my life. I close that door. After being intimate and in a relationship with somebody, and then, well, I said, is that your final word? You just want to be single? Yep. Why? So you can fuck other people? I'm not saying that. No, you don't have to. It's exactly so you could do what you want to do and not have to be responsible because you were doing what you wanted to do the last few weeks, and I was holding you responsible, and you didn't like it. And you didn't like the fact you had to lie. And you didn't like the fact you had to hide what you were doing. Well, guess what? I know for a fact he's macking on a woman in the office at work. That's what my intuition is telling me. Amanda, I know who you are. I'm not dumb. So you know. Yep. And I'll probably post this on Facebook too. So that everybody knows what I just went through with him. Warning. Guess what? Y'all were right. But it's interesting because I've been taking salt baths. He was real freaking scared when I was packing my shit last night. And I could tell like he was kind of humbled and like upset. Like he almost looked like he wanted to cry. Because he didn't have a replacement yet. To come and replace me. Or some for female energy. Here's what I picked up on. And he used excuses like, well, I just want to make sure this is real. At the beginning of a relationship, you know how you are. You're in the love bond. You're in that loving, doving feeling. And this is how they work. You're in that lovey-dovey feeling. from the beginning, like, he wanted to prove to me that it wasn't all about sex. But I wanted to have sex. I went 2 years and was working on myself and healing myself and raising my vibration. He told me when he walked in here the first time he met me, like, he felt like ashamed almost and humbled by my presence. That's how much he knew I was pretty powerful in who I was. And he tried to strip that from me. He knew being with somebody like me would get him to where he needed to go. And that's exactly what he did. For the first time in his life, his father's proud of him. And wasn't looking at him like he was some fuck up. And it all has to do with materialism. 3D bullshit. Oh, it's what you do. It's the job you have. It's the money you make. It's the job you're working. The job he landed, he should not have got. He had no experience. My dad has a degree and was doing the same type of work this guy got a job into doing. So, you know. His luck switched just like that. Getting in my energy because I have the power to manifest. He used me for that. Well, guess what I did? I pulled back and went no contact as of last night. When he kind of freaking seduced me, and I was horny, I let him have, whatever. I came home, douched, and after that, yeah, I did. It's kind of gross to put that out there, but yeah, I came home, I cleansed my insides. I'm doing salt baths the whole damn time because his energy is now cut off. My energy and my good fortune that he's been feeding off of, the bottom feeder, is now cut off. When we broke up on Sunday, he hurt himself at work. Guess what happened? There was huge transit shifts that was taking place right before that. I broke up with him again on Sunday because of his lack of care and him blaming me for his lack of wanting to spend time for any kind of free time with me unless it was Monday through Friday. The weekends, he went and did what the hell he wanted. No apologies. He didn't want to spend his weekends with me. I could have went out there, but like I have my own responsibilities to take care of that I've been neglecting, and he knows it. But now that he got all what he needed from me, he figured, well, I don't need her no more. Sad, really. But Monday at work, he hurt himself. He hurt his shoulder. It's like he's using a heating pad all the time now. Has to take ibuprofen. I'm talking like he thinks he pinched a nerve. Well, he didn't want to say anything. He doesn't want to say anything at work because he feels like he was going to be a liability. And I had talked to Summer Solstice a little bit about this when I was having some cognitive dissonance on Tuesday. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? I was crying. And because I didn't want to make the wrong choice. Is it a karma? Is it a soulmate? Am I wrong? Because we all need an outside perspective of somebody who has your best interest at heart. I didn't go to my parents and only tell them one side of the story. I told her both sides. She knows all the sides. I reveal my life on here. And yes, some of it very well could have been self-sabotage, but I consider it my intuition. And I know my worth, and I'm not putting up with bullshit from people anymore. He should have known this when he got with me. You should have known this from the December when I met him to the January 5th when he came in saying, I want a commitment. I'll even go Facebook public and, I want to do this with you. And I realized like, you're somebody that I really could build with and grow with. And I mean, he said all the right things. And I was happy. It was like, all right, Uranus went direct. This could be a good thing. And then as the time went on, I saw the red flags pop up. I saw, and I took mental note of how he treated his ex while she was in the process of getting her belongings out of his house. It took him probably 2 weeks to gather all of her stuff. And then it was like, he wouldn't even get it all. He'd only give her bits and pieces of it. And then she'd be like, I don't have this and this and this. Where's my stuff? And then he'd put out more of her stuff so that she'd have to come and see my car sitting there or something. Like, it was a mental fucking mind fuck. But I caught on to it. And then he started re-idealizing her. Well, she wasn't that bad. I actually saw she had a good heart. After all I've just done for you, and I noticed you start devaluing me, and you start re-idealizing her, and her ass is in jail because of a guy she had warrants for her arrest. She went to jail. I saved his ass from harboring a fugitive. They came to his house a couple times looking for her. And if she would have been there, they all would have been in jail for harboring a fugitive. But no, they got her shit out in time, just in time. He quit doing meth, and I'm throwing it right out there. She had him hooked on meth, and he had her. It was just a messed up mess between the two of them. He supposedly got off of it, which he got his job, and I believe that he was clean because he had to take all kinds of tests. But I think he started doing it again on the weekends. I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure she might be out of jail too. And I think they're back to talking. If she's out of jail. Or they will be. It's coming. Well, his little job that he got, that is the most important thing on his mind. It was interesting because I walked in there yesterday and he's like, yeah, the luster of this job's kind of wearing off now. And then he asked to watch a movie with me, which was kind of a karmic thing too. It was Inception. Has to do with, like I said, the multiple universes and your subconscious and how people can put and project an idea and then it goes in your sub. That was very enlightening that he played that movie. And then it was going for like, I don't know, 9:30, and he's like, my back is killing me. Let's go to bed. I'm like, I don't mind sleeping over, whatever. My shit was already packed at this point, by the way. Not all of it, because we still needed to have the talk. Well, he ended up getting me all riled up. Things happen, yeah. And I asked him, I said, so are we going to work on healing our core issues together? Are we going to try and work this thing out? Or what do you want? What do you mean? Well, are you staying single or do you want to try? Because I'm not going to be back and forth not knowing what's going on and be with somebody who's just using me. At this point, I'm staying single, he said. I'm worrying about work. And that's fine. Well, enjoy that job. enjoy that materialism and bullshit. He's thinking he's finding emotional fulfillment within a materialistic job. Good luck. Because that job that you got so quickly and manifested can be taken like that. And all options, because of what you did to an empress, and karma can cut it off. All sources can be cut off. Vehicles can break down. And you can start repelling people. And that's what I'm praying for. He did that for a long time. You know, a lot of his friends left him alone, and because he was just so negative. He thinks his shit don't stink now. Because I built up his self-esteem so freaking much and his self-worth, and I got nothing in return. Oh, I got a promise ring. I'm sorry. And a cat robe, which I left there. And it was interesting because last night his mom came down, and his mom's a beautiful person. Came down, she gave me like a necklace and like some wolf earrings, and I didn't take them either. Mm-mm. I'm not taking from people. I was there to love him and work on if it could be salvageable. But when he got nasty last night, he started yelling at me when I brought the topic up about he basically told me, I was the problem. I need to work on my own self and worry about myself and not worry about what he's doing. Which I agree with to an extent. I'm not going to be in a relationship or sexually active with somebody who's uncommittal. Well, it just so happens I go to the doctor today. So I'm going to get tested again to make sure he didn't give me anything. I'm getting myself checked. So, be praying for high vibes. I'm not having like any symptoms of anything that he would have, but you don't know, shit lies dormant. So, we'll see what happens. I'm going to talk to my doctor about it when I go see her today at 5:45. Interesting that I got this doctor's appointment so quick after I missed the doctor appointment from last Friday because my head was so much in the fucking clouds. That's another thing that I noticed. The longer I was with him, the more that I kind of like was forgetting other responsibilities that I shouldn't have been that I should have been attending to because he always wanted me at his place. He can't be alone. Even with him having his mom there, he still needs that feminine validation of a girlfriend. Well, and that's what he was doing with this ex-girlfriend until he decided he was done with her and wanted to move on to somebody else. But he also wanted to leave scars and hurt her in the worst way possible by knowing that he's with somebody else and made a commitment to somebody else because he pulled the uncommittal shit on her then. I saw the pattern, buddy. I'm not dumb. And yes, I'm going to be uploading this to Facebook. So I'm putting this on my Facebook feed. So any of his friends, y'all can send it to him. I don't give a fuck because it's the truth. I know he's talking to multiple people on probably through Messenger, through secret message. He will sit there and say till he's blue in the face he wasn't talking to anybody else, wasn't interested. It was on his mind. or has been. Now that he thinks his shit don't stink and he has his job and he just thinks that, yeah, well, I have so much to offer somebody. You have no emotional stability within yourself. You think emotional stability because your daddy finally validated you. That's all he ever cared about was his validation from his dad. And he started getting his shit together. And his dad liked me a lot. And then he went and talked shit to me about me to his parents, saying that I overreacted to. No, it was a natural reaction to things that I saw other exes do in the past. So it was a natural defense mechanism to call them out on their fucking bullshit. Remember who you're dealing with, you idiot. I'm another Aries. Remember who you're dealing with. However, this Aries is magical, and this Aries will pull karma right back on your ass. Yeah, I might not have saw the karma that happened or that's manifesting for that Scorpio who put me in. I don't even care at this point. I mean, it'd be nice to see somebody get what they have coming when they hurt you for so long. I didn't give this guy enough of a chance to do that. The universe gave me a test. The universe gave me a big test to see if I was able to cut somebody off and not become emotionally unstable as a result. I'm a little bit upset, more disappointed than anything. It's more disappointment because I honestly thought he was different, that we got each other on a different level because he came in like he was really interested in what I was doing, you know, with like my tarot and my channel, and that was all a facade. Like I said, Jack, he has daddy issues. He doesn't have mommy issues. He has daddy issues. His dad, Jack, I got Jackie issues. His dad is his hero, and, you know, rightfully so. His dad's a good person. But he always felt like he never had his dad's approval, and his parents never liked anybody he really dated except for one girl who he would always talk about. Yeah, but the universe will usually try and test you one last time. Or they'll send karma, they'll still try and send karma, the universe will still try and just to see if you learned your lesson. To see if you can spot those red flags, to see if you can cut that off. And most people, especially like with a good-hearted nature who are empathic and stuff, we want to believe the best in people. And yep. One of the things that really helped me last night when I got home was, like I said, here's my soulmate. My Jackie. This is how much he loves mommy when he knows mommy's hurt. Look at that love. Because I'm really like not that hurt. And that's the good thing. I didn't give him enough, yeah, I was all in. But I was watching. I didn't just, I gave him what I felt I wanted that he couldn't give me in return. He thought that he had me duped. Well, let's just say he didn't have me duped. Knowing your self-worth and boundaries. You need to make a list of what you're willing to put up with. And he knew what my boundaries were. Do you want to know what? I told him some of the things that had happened in my past and how people treated me. And then when he started doing that, he gaslighted me and said he wasn't doing that. And that's exactly what he was doing. Was the same damn thing that they did. And then he would say, "Well, I'm not doing that. And I'm not your exes." Same face or same energy signature, different face, buddy. Player. Can't stay with one person. You need to be fucking other people. He has never not cheated on somebody, from what I was told. But his thing was he wanted to change for the better. And he wanted to give me what he didn't give anybody else. That's where he had me stuck. That was a blatant lie from, yep, 5555. Quad fives. That's an ending. Well, guess what happened yesterday? Uranus left Aries and went into Taurus. He came in when Uranus went direct on the 5th, and I cut it off during the new moon in Pisces because I could feel and sense he wasn't being, I could feel and sense what was really going on behind the scenes. When he mentioned that chick's name at work, that's who he's macking on. Oh, yeah. I guarantee they're already friends on Facebook. You want to know what he asked me? Yesterday before I went out there, and I never did. Actually, I deleted them all off my Facebook, too, in case he tries to go in there and get them. He asked me for the pictures of him and his tie from when we went on our Valentine's Day trip, because he wanted to use one of those pictures for his Facebook profile. Ha ha! No, bitch. You didn't take no pictures? You ain't getting those pictures. You already stole a bunch of pictures off my Facebook. And the fact that, yeah, I uploaded them and tagged you, and when we were like good, and I deleted them off my Facebook when you pulled this shit the first time, and never, you know, they were on there for a little bit, but when he got deleted off my Facebook, not just deleted, blocked, both it, and anybody who, yeah, who he's related to. And I hated to block his mom, but I know that his mom was telling him things, possibly. People were probably telling him things, screenshotting my stuff and sending it to him. Because, yeah, I unloaded on Monday. I was not at a hot, like, I was pissed. When he pulled what he did on Saturday night, and we fought all day Sunday about him just being so fucking lazy with our relationship, and it was all about this job now. The materialism shit. And he was no longer investing in our relationship on a emotional level. He cut me off emotionally, and I felt it. I felt the shift. And it was a gradual thing. It was a gradual losing interest. So you know what that tells me? He met somebody. And all I heard is he's being all validated at work, and all his coworkers like him except for a few. Well, that's probably because they sent your yeah, ego. Well, good luck with that job. Because as soon as you got it, it can be taken away. When you come in to somebody's life who is an energy, you want to know what? I was going to actually do an energetic healing on him last night. Depending on his response and whether or not he would apologize and whether or not he saw the error of his ways. And at first I thought he did because like he was upset that I was gathering my things and getting ready to walk out the door with my things. He said, "I'm afraid you're not going to come back." Well, I had asked him to pull my my bag, my toiletry bag out of his bathroom, and he didn't do it. He thought he was going to keep me there on in an uncommittal relationship while you're not doing that to this girl. I know my self-worth. Welcome to me. I know my self-worth and I know my value. And he was saying to me, basically, he threw all of his insecure. He was saying I needed to work on myself and I needed to work on my issues and triggers. And yes, he did trigger a lot of those not being that I wasn't worthy. I know I'm worthy and I know what I deserve, and it ain't that shit. Why are you being triggered so much? Because you're acting shady. And you're proving it right now. I watched and I actually posted it on my Facebook for those of you who are friends of mine. What it really means to heal. You think healing is, oh yeah, well, I'm getting better because yeah, I'm able to move forward with my life and I got a job and I'm doing things are on the upswing for me. Things are on, well, guess what? When you screw over a good person who helped stand you back up after you were desolate, the universe don't look very kindly on that. Not at all. When you that's going to be your karma. I know. And I'm not going to say that this whole thing doesn't hurt. And I'm not saying that I'm not upset. To a degree. It's more of a disappointment. I'm more disappointed. I wasn't duped. I was afraid of getting duped, and I kind of was duped. But my intuition is always spot on. I can read people like a book. And when I walked in there, I could tell. I could tell. Like, he knew I wasn't going to put up with this shit. Well, he just wanted a piece of ass. It's pretty much what that was. And he can't be alone. He'll have somebody in his life within a week or two. And I was not going to have my belongings there and me have to beg him to go pick them up and be able to not go no contact. I wanted to make sure all of my shit was out of there. That was mine. Because he wasn't going to do to me what he did to his ex. And that's hurt them by being with somebody else. Because they can't be alone. These people cannot be alone. He will have somebody in his life within a month. I guarantee it. I don't care. He's blocked. I don't give a shit what he does at this point. He can go fuck all of Sunbury, Norrie, Selinsgrove, Lewisburg, Mifflin. I don't care. You go right ahead. And I'll continue to do what I do. I'll help my community of people and those who deserve it. However, this karmic cycle ending was perfect. It ended perfectly. Because I recognized it for what it was. And at first, there was a lot of people who were very supportive of the fact that he got with somebody like at my caliber. Because a lot of people know who I am in this community. They know that I'm stable and steady, and for the most part. They didn't really know me the past few years, but because I was going through a lot of stuff to get stable and emotionally stable. But they knew me from before that this girl don't take no shit. And they knew me from before. And I have a lot of respect from people because I'm not the type of woman who's going to cheat. I don't lie. When I'm in a relationship, I'm 100% in. I don't go after somebody else's man. If they're not single, I don't want nothing to do with them. So anybody on here, they got a girlfriend, don't even DM me if you're dealing even with a ex that you're still in love with. Don't do it because I don't want to hear it. And of course, he's going to say, oh, well, you're going to go in and slam me on Facebook. No, actually, I'm going to tell the truth. And this is the truth. You used me what you got, what you needed to get from me as far as emotionally to build Joe ass back up. You got daddy's approval back, which is what you always, the only thing you ever fucking wanted in your life. Because you always felt like you weren't good enough to your dad in your dad's eyes because you fuck up all the time. But that's either here nor there because he's enabled. People enable him to be the way he is. People enable him to be the way he is. He will never have to change because there's no reason for him to change, but the universe brought him down. The universe brought him down, brought him in my life, and I helped him get back up. And once I helped him get back, he basically said to me, you were like the mama bird pushing the birdie out of the nest, and now I'm flying. But where's my emotional support when I'm going through things? Where's the emotion? Where's the love at? Well, you need to work on yourself. That's what I did. I worked on myself, what, for a whole fucking 2 weeks while you were still fucking around doing meth and dealing with a freaking ex who's fucking 4 other dudes and on Pornhub? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, dude? No, what you needed and what you saw was that I walked in integrity and you saw the power that I hold. Well, you were the one who listened to me and actually I felt heard. Well, I haven't felt heard in this whole relationship or situationship or karmic cycle. So now my voice will be heard because I know he's going to stalk because he's blocked on everything else. This karmic cycle started 11 years ago with an Aries. Right after I left my husband, I got with an Aries. And he was in and out, same kind of energy. And it's been this way with people ever since. There was one Gemini who was pretty much in, but he was in it for the wrong reasons. He was only in it for the handout. Living in my house for free, expecting me to do everything for him. Yeah, staying here for 4 fucking years. Not working. Mooch. And then I get with Ian, Sagittarius. 5 years spent with a cheating, lying, manipulative, bought me a lot of things, took me a lot of places, made a lot of memories, but they're all tainted with bad shit because we fought all the time. Because I would call him out on his bullshit. And at the point when I found out, and then I saw pictures that I'm pretty sure that he got somebody pregnant out of state. And I still see pictures and I'm just like, that's his kid. I know that's his kid. While he was with me. And then, when I finally got rid of him, my first love comes back, who is an Aries. uncommittal. Just got out of a marriage, was in the middle of just signing divorce papers. He wasn't emotionally available. I get that at the time. But he was fucking around with other women and didn't want to commit. Then I meet a couple dudes in between there, all uncommittal, orbiters who will get a hold of you every couple months just to pop in. How you doing? Well, I stopped talking to them too. Uncommittal energy. Be on the lookout for this, folks. It's a cycle. Then the Scorpio came in 2017. August 21st, during the great solar eclipse. August 21st, during the great solar eclipse, known as the twin flame eclipse. And I was just learning about twin flames and stuff at that time. 12 hours before that eclipse was taking place, it was shadowing that came across America. Ooh, I just got chills. Ooh, I just got real big time chills. And you want to know what? That guy messaged. What happened was, I was with my best friend, and even with her, I'm thinking I have to drop her. Because when I left, she got a hold of me last night about going to have drinks during all this, and I'm like, I'm not at that energy signature anymore. Like, I don't mind going and having a glass of wine or two. I don't like bar settings. Spirit's been pulling me away from that. Clubbing and bar, it's not my thing. You know, and I don't mind going out every once in a while, but she was with her boyfriend, and she was all giddy and happy, and I'm trying to explain, and then she's like, I told you how. She never told me nothing about him. Everybody else did, but she never mentioned anything. The only thing, she remained quiet. Like, she didn't say anything, and I was wondering why. Which should have been a big red flag as to, you know, I'm posting pictures and I'm posting things, but she never liked them. Like, am I supposed to read your mind? Like, is that your way of saying that you don't approve and that I should No, you never said anything to me. You never said, look, he's known to be a cheating, lying piece of shit. But yet he wants to change those ways, and he wanted to give that to me. Right. Lies. You might have wanted to change your ways, but you know you can't. AJ, you know you can't. Now that you got that spark back, I lit that spark. Well, there's going to be nobody there to fan your flame anymore. Oh, you might have superficial whatever, but you're not going to have anybody to activate you anymore. And when you mess with an empress, the universe don't look too good. They don't like that. And the fact of how you treated me and the shit you said, be looking for your karma. And it started on Monday, right after I broke up with him on Sunday. Be looking for it. He hurt himself at work, and it's just getting worse. He ain't going to be able to keep that job. And he very well could end up fucked at this point. Especially if he refused and used the excuse that I don't want to go to the doctor. I'll go to the chiropractor and see if they can fix it. You don't want to go to the doctor because I think if his ex is out of jail, which I'd love to know if she is, if he's been using meth again, if he has been, now that he got his job. I think he doesn't want to get piss tested. Because that's what they'll do when you get hurt at work. I'm not saying that he is. He used the excuse he just started there. He didn't want to be known as a liability. I get that. Makes sense. But you can't continue to do a maintenance job where you're constantly using your arms and your shoulders and have a pinched nerve. You need to go get that checked. Or guess what's going to happen? You're going to have permanent nerve damage. And I keep telling him this, but he keeps going to work and not saying nothing. He might say something when it gets too bad and he's not on meth. If he's using meth. I'm pretty sure. He's back to doing something. I don't know. Andor, I'm calling it out. Like he's been thinking about it because he's got the funds now. And it's pretty interesting. Like he's got his first few paychecks and he's only went out and spent money on himself. His checks have all been about him. This job is all about him. It's not about the fact that I helped him manifest it. And I was all very much so supportive. You want to know what he told me that I needed to do? Take a step back from my readings and work on myself. Oh, really? You really think that that's a good idea? Oh, yeah, that's what he told me. And Summer Stoltzfus said the same damn thing. What? Yeah, he told me I need to take a step back from my readings and work on me. I need to worry about myself. I need to work on my own shit. Because I have obvious issues. Because I call him out on his shit. And I have triggers that he triggered in me. Because I am a bullshit-o-meter. Yeah. Well, he told me that he would do that if I showed any pushback to his behavior. And I broke up with him a couple times. Because my bullshit meter was going off the charts and going crazy. Of ding, 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 ding. Guess what? Same shit. Same shit's happening. Watch. Same thing happened with the Scorpio. I don't know. When I block somebody and I go no contact, it's what I do. No contact. None. Like I said, his dad still has some books of mine that I need to get back because they were my college books. And I let his dad read them because, you know, it all had to do with his dad's very intelligent. He could read a book in a day or two. His dad's very smart. But so is mine. My daddy's very smart. My daddy has degrees, and his dad does too. But me and his dad connected on a pretty cool level because he knew that I was a real woman. And AJ was able to land a real woman because what he was dealing with was anchors who anchored onto him because he was a spoiled child and never had to take responsibility for nothing, and everything was fucking handed to him. He doesn't have any bills in his name. None. His parents take care of everything. He's 33 years old. His truck and his motorcycle, neither one of them are even in his name. Nope, they're in his dad's name. Because they couldn't trust him to be responsible. because this is his past. And his dad was getting to the point where he wanted to start, his parents are older. And his dad wanted to get to the point where he wanted to start handing over deeds and stuff. And sorry, my cat keeps coming in front of me. Because this is my protector. Like I said, I got my little lion. Or should I say my little tiger. Protecting me. My soulmate. Besides spirit. Yeah, he came in saying all the right things. He came in at first doing all the right things. Until he got what he wanted. And then he no longer needed me. But he'll sit there and say, oh, no, you got mad at me because I went to visit a cousin and ditched you for a whole weekend. And then my phone died. And then I didn't get home till 8 o'clock then on Sunday night after being gone since Friday. He went out to his friend's house where his one ex-girlfriend lives who he's still in love with, who's married and has kids. But I think that he's been talking to girls out that way too. And he went to the bar that night with his cousins and his two. Yeah, I think he's been talking to somebody else. He can't fool me. Because you don't just treat somebody who's sat you right back up like shit like that and think you're going to get away with it. So, as Uranus was leaving Aries and going into Taurus, he didn't learn his lesson as an Aries. So guess what? His cycle is going to be the same for the next 50 fucking years. Good luck. That's what I have to say to him. Oh, he'll be fine. Because, well, he's an only child and he doesn't have to do anything for himself. He's a man-child. And I saw it. His mommy still makes him dinner. His mom does. I don't want to say it like that because that's not nice. But and she cooked for me too. She's awesome. She's a wonderful, giving person, but she enables him to be who he is. They've never pushed him out of the nest and said, go be homeless until you get your shit straight. Nope. They've always bailed him out. And he was telling me I need to get my shit straight. No, what he's going to do is leap onto the next vagina. And he's never, ever going to find, and I don't want to put like, he's never going to find what he's looking for because he's looking for it in materialism. Because it's what he was taught. It's all about the money. It's not about love, real love. It's about getting what you want in any way, shape, or possible, even if you have to fucking manipulate people. Spirit taught me how to spot master manipulators. I saw it with this. This has been a cycle. I saw it with the first Aries I dealt with. I saw it with consecutive men after that. And then, like I said, Spirit brought in my first love. He brought my first love back 2 years ago after I ditched the Sagittarius, the cheating bastard. He brought in my first love, who was emotionally unavailable and couldn't commit. Then I started dating other people. And there was a Libra in there, 2 Libras in there. And the one I cut off because it was all, he didn't want commitment. And he was a man-child too, living with his mother. One was living in the basement. The other one lived in the attic. So the site, like, I see these repetitive themes and I'm just like, what the fuck? And then he told on himself and told me he was still in, and we were only friends. There was no sexual anything going on. After the Scorpio that came back in, I cut off the Libra and the Scorpio came back in after 21 years. 17 years of no contact, but I first met him 21, 22 years ago. We worked together for 5 years. And there were some things that had happened with him and me. And there was always like this magnetism and this, I don't know, like there was just this, I know that we've had past lives together. I know that there was some karma that was there. I do. Whether it was definitely, it was divine, you know, but it was for my transformation. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not even mad at it. I'm not mad at any of these guys. They were all a lesson that Spirit was teaching me. What are you going to tolerate, Lisa? How much before you say enough? How much do you value yourself and your energy? When are you going to realize that a cheetah will always be a cheetah? Don't think that you can tame a wild animal, because they can always turn on you at any given moment. At any given moment. And that's exactly what the Scorpio did. Almost to the same degree and time frame this guy did what he did. 2 months. 2 months. This time was the closing of that cycle, though. This was the Uranus transit for this girl. Was learning my self-worth and boundaries and sticking to my values and what I'm willing to put up with and what I'm not going to put up with in a relationship. Whether it's a friendship, this goes for friends too. I've cut off a lot of friends. Whether it goes for friendships, whether it goes for family, whether it goes for intimate relationships, if it's not equal and your intuition is telling you something's not right, and you try and have a sit-down conversation and you're just talking and you feel like you're just talking in circles, and that's exactly what we felt like last night. He was not able to listen to anything that I had to say. He did not want to hear that the reasoning is because it's been relationship after relationship after relationship of this uncommittal energy. And then when he comes in with this uncommittal offer, I'm like, fuck off. I'm out of here. And all my shit was already packed. I went and grabbed the rest of my stuff, grabbed my bags, didn't even say goodbye, walked out the door, didn't even look back. Got in my car, drove home. Watched a thing with Mac. Well, I got a hold of Summer Solstice because she knew I was going out there, and so did some of you. And, you know, I'm just, like I said, I'm just like, now I understand it was a lesson. And I'm like, oh God, I just hope that I don't go through this dark night of this whole thing where I'm just like, oh, and, you know, in pain. And, they usually say that it takes as long to get over somebody as what you were with them, which is like 2 months. Well, with him, 2 months, because this cycle's done. I blocked him. Yes, I kept the line of communication open with his mom because I do want to text her today and ask her to ask Mel when I can get my books back, because they were books from college that I do want back. But I got the rest of my shit. And this, like I said, I have no problems with his parents. His parents are lovely people. They were very nice to me. You know, and but I saw the monster come out in their son. And we couldn't sit down and just have a talk. Right away, he started yelling and screaming. Right away, he wanted to sound like I was arguing with him because I was setting a boundary and being like, well, if you don't want this, then I'm out. Well, I thought maybe we could be friends or, dude, not at this point, and maybe not ever. Yep, I respect and honor where you were. I respect and honor the time and energy I put into you. And I respect and honor you as a hurt individual. But I didn't get the same in return. I didn't get the emotional support or the emotional he basically told me he would walk, so I hold my hand while I was going through things, but he couldn't fix me. Good line. Good line. Absolutely, we all have layers coming off of the onion. But this wasn't about, he didn't support me in anything. He told me I should back off my readings and just worry about myself. And take time to just think. No, I'm not going to do that 8 of Swords. I've done that 8 of Swords for way too long. What I did is my intuition lit up. I'm not, like I said, I'm not even mad about it at this point. I'm disappointed. But I realized what it was a karmic cycle, and it was a karmic end, and it was a test. He was my passing of the test. So how can I really be mad when the universe already had it orchestrated and set up to happen the way that it did? I learned my lesson. Do you know how many people told me he was going to cheat on me? They didn't say it within the first 5 weeks. But after him and I weren't together and he disappeared and he didn't go out with me one night, and yeah, I come to find out there was a lot of people who were like, why are you with him? Nobody would message me through Messenger or say anything on Facebook who knew we were together, who knew how this guy rolled in the past. And I didn't really know him that well except for through his ex who would constantly bash him. So it was one of those things where it was like, all right, well, anybody who constantly bashes somebody is kind of like, you know, you gotta hear both sides of the story. Well, his side of the story didn't add up. After about 5 weeks, I saw exactly what his exes went through, because he tried to do it to me and put me in cycles. Hey, you two, like a master narcissist would, like a master manipulator would. He thought he had me. I came home, like I said, after last night, I came home, put on MatCon about what it truly means to heal, because, you know, you have to sit there and think. And I want you all to watch that. Whoever gets on here, MatCon, he's like a spiritual guru. He's not a tarot reader. His name is Matthew Kahn. I posted on my Facebook, Jess, I posted the video this morning, what it means to heal. And he has all kinds of really good spiritual lessons about love and soulmates and stuff like that. And what it means, like stuff that can, trigger you. But I realize, you know, there's still some areas that I lack. I'm not perfect. I can say that I messed some things up, and yeah, I might have overreacted with some stuff, but how about, how about instead of overreacting, on what I'm actually talking about and taking a good look at why I'm acting the way I am and if the rules were in reverse. Well, I mean, even yesterday, I when I went there, I went and got my stuff so that I didn't have to deal with what his ex did in case he does have some other chick coming over. I don't want to see her car there. I'm not going to put myself through that emotional pain. Sorry. And here's the difference. Yeah, I'm good. And here's the difference. I'm not going to hop onto the next dick like all of his other ex-girlfriends did. They either cheated to get back at him or in between. This girl ain't going back. He lost. I promise you all, when I walked out last night, that was the end. And he had that feeling when I went there yesterday. When we had our talk, he had that feeling, and he even said it, that when you take your things, I have a feeling you won't come back. And I said, well, what makes you think that? If we could work something out that we could work on as, but I'm not going to be your source of energy for you to glow when you're doing me dirty behind my back. I cut that off. I came home, I did a double salt bath. And I douched. So, here we go. Came in as Prince Charming at first. Well, I saw the real colors of who he really is when this guy gets what he wants. So yeah, I'm good. Like I said, just a little disappointed. But I realized it was a karmic. And this cycle is now ended. I know my self-worth. I know what red flags I need to continue to watch. Well, I can't say that, Lisa. That's a sad life of not being able to trust somebody. Because we should be able to trust somebody. You're a real person when they come in. You'll know because they're not going to love bomb you right away. And he honestly tried to be like, well, I don't want to make this all about sex because I want this to be different. Oh, it was different, all right. I still think he was had a few things going on that I didn't know about. And of course, the way I am, I'm like, if I got to go through somebody's phone to ease my conscience and make sure you're not doing anything, I shouldn't have to do that to somebody. I know how I am. And I wouldn't care to give somebody my phone. I don't talk to other dudes when I'm with somebody. Other dudes, if they're my friend, sure, on a friendship level to a degree, but not to the line of crossing it. And there was a lot of disrespect. Once he got this job, he started disrespecting me and devaluing me. I saw it because I'm pretty sure he started idealizing somebody else behind my back. There was an idealization period of him. I felt it. He was devaluing me and idealizing somebody else to pull them up, to bring them into his world. So when he discarded me, there was already somebody in place. Well, guess what? You better move quick, buddy, because I'm out. Better move quick. Get that Knight of Wands energy going because you're a whore. uncommittal. You did the same thing to the ex. And you've been like this your whole fucking life. You're not ever going to change. You can sit there and say, I was going to change for the better for you. No, you're not. You used me for my energy and you used me for my manifesting power. Well, guess what? Now I'm no contact. My energy now is cut off. The universe saw what you did, so good luck. I saved you from a lot of bullshit that could have went down in the last 2 months, right along with you possibly being sitting incarcerated in jail. Universe brought me in to teach you a lesson. And you didn't get it. You didn't get it. And now, if you don't figure out your shit and sit there and be like, well, I'm working on myself. I'm just focused on my job. That's him working on himself, is focusing on work. It's not working on yourself. What about your anger issues and your rage? You can't even have a conversation with somebody. You can't even have a conversation with somebody without raising your voice and yelling so that your mom knows that we're arguing and making it sound like I'm provoking you. That's what pissed me off last night. I'm like, I'm just asking. And you're standing here yelling and raging at me. Well, you deal with that inner demon. Have fun. Because like I said, I was going to do an energy healing on him last night, depending on his response. If he had any kind of compassion or any kind of empathy, and I saw none. I saw fear of me leaving too soon before he had another supply in line. I saw a fear of him not having direct access to my energy. With my stuff being out there, that's my energy being out there. Like I said, the stuff he bought me, I left. I did keep the promise ring that he got me, but there's a Libra full moon coming up. That was the new moon energy last night. This is moving into a new cycle. We are starting a brand new cycle now, folks. And this old thing, Uranus also went into Taurus, and Neptune's exposing all the skeletons in everybody's closet. So I'm going to find out the truth. The truth is going to come in one way or another for me. I'll find out the truth and the whole truth of this whole situation. People are going to expose him to me of what he's doing behind now. Even though we're not together, they're going to tell me what he's doing. And I guarantee you, he's either going to go back to the meth and the ex again, or he's moving on to a whole different person. Because karmics can't be alone. They need other people's energy. Well, their energy signature ain't mine. Their manifesting power ain't mine. And when you fuck over an empress or a queen of pentacles or an emperor, I call myself the queen of pentacles because I have a cat moon. When you fuck over the justice card, which is Libra, empress, guess what happens? Boomerang effect. Like I said, we broke up Sunday. Monday, he hurt himself at this wonderful job that he's been focusing on. I'm not laughing at that he hurt himself. I feel bad about that. I kind of am baffled at how quick the karma flipped around and he hurt himself at work. This thing that he put above working on dealing with neglecting our relationship as a result, and then treating me so poorly and talking to me so disrespectful. Universe don't put up with that. Disrespecting people who've helped you in so many ways. If you would have saw this guy, back in December and how broken and pathetic he was, and how I did not judge him for it. I saw hurt, and I saw somebody who was just lost. And I had empathy and compassion, and I listened to his story, and I said, I know right where you're at. You're an Aries, and you've gone through it the last 9 years. But the whole time he's been dealing with his own damn karma because he's been fucking around on people. He's been a cheat the whole he's never not cheated on somebody. Oh, he's not hurt. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. What he is was brought up very spoiled and got whatever he wanted. Well, I know because I closed this cycle out last night as the Queen of Pentacles, standing in my power, as the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Swords, because I'm a Libra, rising, Aries sun, and a Cat moon. I stood in my power and I said, enough is enough. And I walked out. And I didn't look back. I didn't do what his exes did and leave stuff there so they had a reason to go back there. I want no reason to look back. You know, and his mom was very sweet. Like when, yeah, I took my power back. And he knew I was leaving. And when I didn't get the answer that I wanted to hear, because I know my worth, and he's sitting there trying to gaslight me and say, you need to work on yourself. You need to work on your own self-esteem issues. Really? No, I just don't like being disrespected. After doing all what I've done and pulling you out of the fucking ditch of addiction, which he got off of the drugs. Exactly. He said, I was not loving myself. I was too focused on us. No, I was focused on being neglected in the relationship and being mistreated. And I saw the red flags. And I called him out on those red flags. And it triggered me. And yes, I did act a little bit out of character because I was so pissed off from being gaslighted and lied to. But the thing, instead of being like, I'm sorry that this is how you feel, this isn't what I'm doing. And yes, on Monday, he blew up my phone because he knew I was ready to walk. And I did. Like, I'm like, look, he drove by my house. He offered to take me to Lowe's. Like, he wanted to have he wanted to have it. And at that point, I was like, yeah, give him a taste of his own medicine at this point. You didn't want nothing to do with me all weekend? Well, guess what? Oh, I get it. It's Monday now. Now I'm good enough. Well, you want your Monday through Friday, girl, but your weekends you want free. Okay. Well, I'm an everyday girl. And I'm not ordinary. I'm extraordinary, friends. So somebody treating me as ordinary after you used my manifesting power and my energy to get what you wanted, and then you turn around and disrespect me like that. I am not putting up with that from anybody. Like I said, whether it be friends, thank you. Whether it be friends, you guys are lovely, thank you. Whether it be family, or whether it be a relationship, if it's not equal give and take, I want no part of it. None. Well, we all do deserve respect. And that's one of the things I would tell Jess about, because like I said, he was gaslighting. You need to heal your own issues until you worry about other things, until you... I'm not saying I don't have issues. I take full responsibility for overreacting and possibly, pushing the envelope when I'm pissed. But I'm pretty grounded. Like, I'm not. I know he is. I came home. I watched The Peace Dealer last night, and I'm doing a salt bath. During that whole not the transit talk, but that peace talk that he had, I'm in the middle. When I was, from the beginning of that till the end, I was in a Himalayan salt bath. And I douched. That's awful. And I put in my prosperity oil right along with my salt bath. Because I am the Empress. I am that abundance that you just messed up, buddy. Like I said, I was going to do an energy healing on him, depending on his response. I was going to pray for him, for his injury that he did at work. I didn't waste my time. You deal with that injury yourself. That's your karma. Yeah. Well, and the thing is that's the one thing he kept on saying is, moving forward, if you want to move forward with me, you let me know. If you want to move forward with me, you let me know. And then I'm like, he's kind of right about the moving forward. And I really shouldn't be always looking in the rearview mirror for, he's like, you're always looking for the negative in the situation. I'm like, no, I'm just keen to negative responses and red flags from people. I'm not dumb. I've studied narcissism for 6 fucking years. I've studied how sociopaths work. I studied how narcissists work. Big time studied them. Because I dealt with them the whole time. And I actually have a channel. Yeah. Well, I'm going to happen to be putting up my shield. I'm going to have to be making sure that I'm putting up my blue flame energy and keeping that shield up, because I know what happened with the last Scorpio. He'd come in my dreams. This guy and I, this last Aries and I. Yeah. Well, I dragged him out of the pit and stood him on solid ground and got him to a place of very stable and finding his self-worth again. And that's how I get treated in response. That's the response I got. That's what I got. His parents had told me they saw the biggest turnaround in him. Well, he came in as like acting like the same vibration, and that he was interested in growing. He was interested in growing to a degree. That's what this closing cycle is. I felt like I was reverting. And I felt like it was no longer productive. That's why I kept on saying, I can't be out here that much. If you want to come see me for once, I'd appreciate it. Like, come to my house. He never would. It always had to be on his terms. Everything was always on his terms. Hi, Raz. Everything. If it wasn't on his terms, he wasn't doing it. It was all about AJ. Wasn't about what can I do for you. It wasn't about, you know, would you like me to come over and spend the night with you? Nope. It was a lesson. You're doggone right. And it was the closing of this 11-year karmic cycle. Like I said, it started, I got revelation on Tuesday, and I knew I was going to get divine revelation. Like I said, I was a blathering mess. And I was talking to Summer Stolzis. I don't think she's on here, but I was talking to her. She's one of my people, my go-to people who I can talk to through Facebook. She's part of my soul tribe. And because I was really feeling like, okay, I was dealing with huge cognitive dissonance. I don't know. I'm not sure. She might be running errands. I don't know. I haven't talked to her yet today. But I was dealing with huge cognitive dissonance on Tuesday of, am I doing the right thing? You know, am I the one who, you know, has overreacted? You know, and yeah, I am dealing with hurt and triggers from my past. He turned around and used it against me. The stuff that I had said that I was hurt and wounded from the past, he turned and used it and projected it to me. I'm only worried about my work. That's all I care. No, yeah, because you want to know what? You're macking on a girl at work, I bet. I'm positive he is. I'm positive. That's what he's doing. He's working on a girl at work who works in the office. Trust that. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to post this on Facebook because I know it's going to get back to him. I didn't know. You want to know what? He's actually a sub on my channel. So I'm sure he's going to see that this video is almost 2 hours and he's not going to want to watch it, even though it's all about him. Because it's been all about him the whole entire fucking relationship. Wasn't about him helping me through and growing with me and helping me unpack my baggage. That's what an equal give and take relationship is helping each other. When things come up, you help each other unpack each other's baggage. I helped him unpack some baggage, and guess what? He stole my energy. He stole my abundance. He stole a lot of things and was able to manifest that were rightfully mine. Well, with me cutting off that energy last night, that energy is now cut off from him. Yep, my heart hurt a little bit last night. I don't feel that pain today. Like I said, it's more disappointment. I don't want to go through that again. I just want to move on. I got too much other stuff to worry about healing anymore. Like a stack of bills that need paid and a mortgage I got to figure out and a bunch of other things. I know I'm protected. I know I am. And he knows I talk about this stuff. Do unto what you do to others. I did my Aries message for February. It's called Boomerang Effect. Little did I know. What you give out to others comes right back. And I gave him out a lot of time and energy and love, and now I'm taking it back. So, my resources of that, amen. Amen. Thank you. This smile will remain on my face because I know I did the right thing by cutting it off. And I already know. We're in a Mercury retrograde. Guess what's going to happen? He might be blocked. He's not blocked on my YouTube. My YouTube channel is going to flourish pretty damn soon. Heidi, he told me to stop doing readings and work on myself. How is that any bit? You want to know what helped me get out of the slump the last time? Was doing my readings. And healing. And it wasn't like I need to get on my grind. I get that. That is true. I need to not worry about him. That's for damn sure. Because he sure as fuck ain't worried about me. What he's going to be worried about is when he senses this shift. That he's no longer protected. Boomerang effect. Me and my 10,000 angels went elsewhere. Last night. Now he's going to be going right back to reverting back to what he was. And I, like I said, I told him last night, don't ever contact me in any way, shape, or form. Ever again. That's how I roll with these people. I might still care about them and love them at a distance, but they're not worth my energy and time. Who's worth it is my tribe. And him telling me to not do my readings and get on YouTube and yeah. Was his way of me not being validated for my feelings. I know. We do. And I appreciate all of your guys' help. I'm here for you guys too. Because this is a lesson we all have to learn. Know your self-worth. Set proper boundaries with people. And if I'm not doing it, I have no business telling you guys to do it. That's the problem with hypocrites. They'll tell you what to do, but then they don't do it themselves. And that's what he was, a hypocrite. Oh, I got this. I do. And I got the universe backing me. And I got my soul tribe backing me. And I appreciate everybody who gets on here and likes my videos. Like I said, I'm not sure. I very well could. I'm going to leave up. I love you too, Heidi. Thank you. Part of the Vibe Tribe. I appreciate it so very much. I appreciate all the connections I've made off of there. I wish I could make some more soul connections from there. You know, it's like I try and talk in the chat and there's only a few people who I really connected with. I do love Will Harrison. Like, a lot of his teachings are good too. But like Matt Kahn, he really talks about, you know, the power of love and what that really means, and the power of healing and the power of letting go, and the redefined meaning of soulmates and twin flames. It's all getting redefined. What we think is a twin flame isn't what you think is a twin flame. So, like, check out Matt Kahn. He's like a spiritual guru. He's very much all lovey, lovey, lovey. Do you know who Matt Kahn is, Heidi? I mean, sometimes he's a little too, yeah. Sometimes he's a little too much for an Aries because it's like, ugh, go straight against that ego. But the ego's got to die for the spirit to come forth. My ex's ego got elevated. Yep, I loved him the best I could. And I warned him, you're not going to treat me like crap and me not say nothing. If I notice anything, I will call you out on your shit. I'm a cat moon for Pete's sakes. I talked a little bit about Capricorns. You want to know what? Capricorns are hard workers. And Jack, oh, he's so big. Knocked my chair over. Put her down in the comments then. Not just in the live feed. Put her down in the comments. Or her link. I want to check her out. Like I said, as an Aries, going through this from the cycle and the downloads and the aha moments of, okay, I get what this is. Started with an Aries and it ended with it. I started with a male Aries and it ended with a male Aries. New moon last night. And Uranus went into Taurus and left Aries. He's out of my life. I gave him one last chance to try and get it right. He didn't get it right. So, good luck, buddy. Now you're on your own. You can deal with your hoes and your skanks and be a hoe. Good luck with all that. He told me if I keep acting this, dude, you should see the nasty stuff he had said to me. And then he told me that's not even near as low as he could go. Really? I dare you. I dare him to come at me with saying low blow stuff. You go right ahead. Come at me. I guarantee you won't like what you get in return. And it won't come from me. I got 10,000 angels with swords that will cut you to smithereens, motherfucker. Cut you right back down. You thought you were low before? You thought you were low before. And that sounds mean. I just lost somebody off here too. That sounds mean, but that's where I'm at. Him threatening me, saying, "Oh, well, that's not even near as nasty as I can get." Like it's something good. Like it was something to be proud of. Sorry for calling you out on your shit, but yeah, sorry when I have 10 people tell me you're never going to change and you've cheated on everybody you've been with and you've mistreated every woman you've been with. And you promised me the world. And you promised that you wanted to change, and you ain't changing. Actually, now you'll revert. Sorry. Good luck. Because you're going to need it. Either way, I'm going to let y'all go. I'm getting off of here. I got to get a bath. I have a doctor appointment because I'm going to go get myself checked. because of being with in this relationship. And I'm not too prideful to not have myself made sure that I'm good. Because when I got with him, after the ex, I was scared to go get checked. And I was fine. I'm getting rechecked. I'm going to get myself rechecked. Because if I caught anything, I know where it came from. That's what I had said earlier, Lisa. Once a cheetah, always a cheetah. And a leopard don't change your spots. Kept on saying, well, I'm not a leopard. Good thing I'm not a leopard. No, you're a cheetah. I know. I'm coming into my power. And this was just the closing of the cycle. This was the closing. You mean these guys? This was just the closing of the cycle of uncommittal bullshit and spotting a master emotional manipulator. Thank God I only put in less than 2 months. Good luck to anybody else trying to deal with him, because I will not protect him anymore. He was under my protection as he was with me. I know he does. I know the creator is someone amazing for me. Just don't know who yet. This, like I said, we don't always have to be no two people are at the same spiritual level. But he was willing at the beginning. He was so smooth. He was willing to learn and grow, and felt like he can learn from me. Well, this guy came in when I could least expect it. So like it all kind of lined up, and it all was like, all right, well, this was least expected. I wasn't even going out and doing nothing. I was doing readings and working on myself. And he came in. So, I thought, nope, it was another karmic. It was the last lesson of the last leg of this Uranus transit through Aries of knowing your worth. And knowing those boundaries. And if someone's crossing those boundaries, how much are you willing to put up with? Are you going to let someone treat you like a dog and walk all over you, like all of his exes have? And keep going back, cycle after cycle after cycle. And he's like, oh, and I was in these relationships long term. I'm putting up someone I'm going to be fighting with and breaking up with every other week because, well, maybe if you'd be acting right. Nope, your job is now the most important thing to you. Well, guess what happens? You got that job as a result of getting picked up out of the ditch and stood on your own 2 feet. If I would have never came into his life, that wouldn't have happened, and he knows it. And I can prove it by what he has sent or posted on Facebook when he met me. All the lovey-dovey stuff he had said. He posted this thing about how since he got the negative people out of his life, how his life has turned around and he's so much more happier. And yeah. It is. It was called love bombing. It was called love bombing. And idealization. And then the value came in and I discarded. I discarded him. I'm laughing about it now because I realize what it is. I saw it. I mean, I'm disappointed because I was hoping it was going to turn out different, but it didn't. It was the same energy. It was the same energy, different meat suit. Didn't catch it at first. Because as an empath, we want to believe the best and give multiple choices. Multiple chances to people. So we do as empaths. And like I said, he does have he showed a very noble side to himself. And if you don't believe me, how much he valued our relationship and talked me up to everybody. You can ask Summer Stoltzfus about how his life took a turn. He talked about it with her, about how he met me and I've been wanting to do a video with him, and he'd never do a video with me because he started getting prideful. Because then he didn't think it had anything to do with me. It was all him. He took all the glory for it for himself instead of realizing who he was dealing with. Sorry, folks, I'm no longer dealing with peasants. If you're a peasant, yeah, I'll still love people. But as far as trying to help them, they're not, yeah. They're going to have to prove themselves. And that's why I was making him prove himself. Like, he didn't have my trust. He didn't break trust. He never had it to begin with. He needed to prove his trust and couldn't do it. And then he completely, what he kind of came in and earned a little, got shattered. It's like a glass table and a hammer. It got shattered and into a million pieces. The way he treated me with disrespect. Shattered. Done. Karmic cycle over. Because I learned the lesson. And I know what to look for now. And they don't change. And everybody kept telling me, he's never going to change. That's how he always been. That's how he always was. So, well, that's not the guy I met at the beginning, man. He was really in a low place, and all his friends knew it. I can't tell you, there was like 150 people who liked his post saying that he met somebody like me. And they were like, finally, you met somebody. Don't fuck it up. They kept on telling him, don't fuck it up. That was in all his comments. Finally, you met somebody that's decent. Don't fuck it up. Telling him not to fuck it up. So who's the fuck up in all of this? He fucked it up. Because his pride and his ego didn't turn into self-worth. It turned into ego. That's the difference. Like I said, I know I mess things up. I do all the time. And he kept on saying, why are you only looking for the negative? I did not look at the positive too. But when the negative way outweighs the positive, and you're starting to see those red flags, and then you start seeing more red flags and excuses. Then there's excuses and zero lack of responsibility for his actions. That's enough to tell me everything I need to know. And that should be enough to tell you everything you need to know about whether or not somebody's meant to be in your life. So, yep, for me, it's going to be about my channel. It's going to be about getting my my shit in order. When I'm not on my channel, I'm going to be working around my houses and getting the skeletons removed. Unloading unnecessary things I no longer need. I have freaking Coach purses over there that I don't use. I don't need them. I have shit that's still in bags that I have just a lot of unnecessary clutter in this house. I got to declutter. And I got to work on my rentals, and I got stuff I have to do for me. But next week, I'm hoping to take a drive to New Jersey. I don't know where the rest of you are from, but I'm going to take a drive to New Jersey. I'm having a major clear out. Do you want to know what? It's interesting you say that because I ended up keeping a bunch of boxes that I had got for Christmas when I ordered like candles, and like I kept all the boxes because I knew at one point like I was going to start selling stuff. I am going to eBay that crap. But I got clothes that from when I was heavier, should I say, when I was so sick and my thyroid was out of control. Like I was wearing size 11 and 13 pants. Now I'm a size 7, 5'7". But like I kind of didn't know if I was ever going to need them again. So you kind of hoard things just in case so that you always have something to fall back on. Nope. It's time to clear all this stuff out. Time to clear it all out. Got to get this energy out of my, like, yeah. So between doing readings, which I've been getting private readings, and I had to push a lot of them back because I ended up with a doctor's appointment today. I have a doctor appointment for my daughter tomorrow, but yeah, well, all I wanted in this whole relationship was emotional stability. I just wanted that, knowing I didn't have to worry about it. Well, my room's usually not messy. It's my attic, my basement, my office. I have too much stuff. A lot of clothes up in my closets are overflowing with clothes. Some of them, and here's the thing, a lot of my clothes are higher end clothes, like from Buckle and stuff, that they only make like two and three of one shirt and that go to each store. So I paid a lot of money for this stuff. So it's like, I don't want to sell it for $5 because I paid 60 and 70 for it. So, and people don't want to pay what shit's worth. They want everything for nothing, just like somebody who came in and asked at the beginning when I first started doing readings, private readings. They were really cheap. They were only $20 at the time, but I didn't know a whole lot of spreads, and it was like I do a Celtic cross and the 9 card. Now I do all kinds. I do activation spreads. I do healing spread. I do the whole 9. And this guy came to me. He's like, "Are your reading still 20?" And I said, "No." I said, I'll do a 9 card pull for you for 25. Oh, okay. And haven't heard from him since. So, you ain't going to get that from anyone else. So, good luck. I know my worth now. And I know what my energy is worth. And I know who deserves it. I do. And I know who I have to invest my time in. And it's people who want to invest their time equally. I'm not asking for more. I just want equal, give and take. That's it. Exactly. And that's what he wanted. Now I get it. He's a college student. He's younger, but go keep watching your free readings on YouTube. And that's not trying to be rude. But I know what my time is worth. And honestly, $44 for all that I do. My readings just went up. $44 for all I do. Time's the one thing you can't get back. That is the one thing you cannot get back. You can get resources, you can get money, you can get a new job at any given time. Time Time is the one thing you can't get back. And that's what I kept on trying to explain to this guy, is you're wasting my time. You're wasting my energy, and you're wasting everything that I put into all of this. And I don't like it, and I see it. That is exact. I put too much time into people who don't deserve it. That's you're yeah. So like yeah, I feel very burned. Like maybe that's a fault of mine, I don't know. Something I got to get over. But I don't ever regret giving someone a chance. A fair chance until they show me otherwise. And I've said this before. Until somebody shows me otherwise, I'm a landlord, and I've had people use my properties and not pay me and destroy my shit. I've had people the next door over here. Once I get my shit in order, I'm telling you, I'm starting over with all brand new tenants. I have to remodel all of my every single one of my units because they all got fucking destroyed. And I didn't realize how bad over here was until I went in there yesterday. Because of the devaluation of that side, my side's nice, but because of the devaluation of that side, this house is no longer worth shit. And when I go in there and have it all assessed of the damages, I got pictures from the beginning when she moved in. And I'm going to have the damages assessed. And yeah, she's either fixing it all of it. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm starting over with all new tenants. Yep. And I'm going to hire an apartment manager, and I'm putting these places up for sale. I don't know where I'm moving to yet. Probably down south somewhere. And I've been saying this for a while. But this is a year of unloading all the unnecessary baggage that I don't need. And doing my tarot and doing my stuff. And Spirit's going to lead me where I need to go. I've learned the lessons. I've learned the karmic lessons now at this point. But universe is always conspiring. Yeah. That's a cosmic joke. Oh, yeah, let's see, she learned her lesson. And the fact, I love this. We are in a Mercury retrograde. We broke up. I know. We broke up at the exact time when you're the same day. New moon in Pisces. Uranus left me and his first house. New beginnings. Went into Taurus. And then Chiron's entering Aries. We all know about that. And then, we have Venus doing her thing. Saturn is like taking notes of everything. Well, I'm getting chills when I talk about I can channel Saturn. Saturn's my moon sign. Or Capricorn, the ruler of Saturn is my moon sign. He's going retrograde. I think sometime in April or May. I'm not sure. I don't have a and so is Jupiter. So guess what that means? I'm a Cap moon. And I got Jupiter on my north. I got my north nodes in Jupe. So Saturn's taking notes of who's doing the right thing and who's doing the wrong thing. And guess what? The full moon coming up is in my rising sign, Libra, the card of justice and karma. Good luck. Don't come running back to me. Don't even bother. When shit all hits the fan, when these retrograde, guess what happened the last time? Doors damn locked. Well, guess what happened last time? Saturn went retrograde for me, which was last, and it stays retrograde for a while. Saturn went retrograde in May. I'm pretty sure it was in May of last year, and I lost my county job. And then I fell into a real bad depression because I didn't learn my karmic lesson. Saturn's taking notes. And I've learned this karmic lesson. Door is locked. Padlock shut. Actually, padlock shut, dead bolted, at the door. I have a freaking one of those sticks you stick there. And there's a Rottweiler called Archangel Michael waiting for you if you even try. Yep. Well, this lesson was pretty easy to... Yep. Like I said, there's an archangel called Michael who's like a Rottweiler. When someone does do me dirty, all I gotta do is pray. And yes, I do feel burned. I feel a certain way because this is fresh. But like I said, they usually say it takes like the amount of time to get over somebody is what you spent with them. Well, I'm praying for quick healing. Archangel Michael? Oh. Him and that blue flame sword. That sword of healing. That sword comes down. That's the sword of justice. He will take it. He's the first one to decapitate somebody for fucking with the divine's purpose and people. Come in acting like you're a soulmate twin flame once. Come in acting like you're someone's soulmate or twin flame. And you try and get them off their path. And that's what he did. To the point he bought me a promise ring. I will never leave you. You can't get rid of me. Blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. The universe will see to it. That's all I have for today, folks. I have a doctor's appointment. Actually, it's like a 3-month checkup, but I'm going to talk to my doctor, let her know what just happened. And I'm sure she's going to say, are you working? Because she says that to me every time I go in, and I'm like, no, I don't have a regular job. Who's a stalker subscribed to you? My ex? Who? My ex barely gets on YouTube, and if he does, it's for only to listen to music, usually. Like I said, I couldn't get him to watch anything. At first, he was all willing to watch, like, the Peace Deal, and slowly but surely, he reverted back to very 3D materialism. And it was all about him and what he wanted. And he became very prideful. Pride goeth before a fall. Remember that. And that was a bad problem for Aries. Because we're ruled by the head and we had a big ego. Spirit already knocked, this is what's so frustrating for me. Spirit had already knocked him down so far that he couldn't see how to get out of it until he met me. And I energetically, just him being in my presence healed him and got him activated to the point where he was able to gain energy and be able to do stuff again and have the self-confidence. And this is what I get in return. I don't know her. Who she's weird. I don't know who you're talking about, honey. Yeah, that was the biggest thing that I noticed was the disrespect and the lack of empathy for my situation after all of that. So yeah, I felt burned and I feel very used. So it is what it is. Said it 2 months and cycle after cycle after cycle of dealing with ignorant fucking people. Like I said, blocked. I don't know what his YouTube name is. I know he's subscribed to my YouTube. But I don't think he'll have the guts to watch my YouTube stuff. His mom might, but I don't think he'll have the guts. Like I said, and I'm not even trying to talk bad, nasty about him. I'm really not. I'm telling you all the truth. Hey, did you have a Facebook? Well, can you look me up on Facebook and get on my Facebook and be Facebook friends with me? I'm not, because I was still out of character on Monday. Okay. I will look you up and because I was so triggered on Monday when this portal actually opened, which was weird, but I was so triggered and pissed off about what I was seeing and how he was responding and acting toward me and then blowing it off like it meant like it was nothing and then just all the bullshit. And then I was just like, the next day I wake up crying, like, why? Okay, this is healing. And I prayed yesterday before I went there. I did a video yesterday right before I went out there that spirit would close me off emotionally to him if I didn't get the proper, like, respect, which I did not. Uncommittal after using me. Very nasty. And yelling at me at the top of his lungs so his mother upstairs could hear and say, oh, well, she started a fight with me. No, I wasn't even yelling. He was, to make it look like I'm the bad person who caused him to yell, when that's what he does. Makes everybody else look out to be the bad person. But I'm the one that truly wanted to. If we could have even saved this on a friendship, but the lack of respect, I can't. No one yells at emperor. Yeah, queens can still get yelled at by kings, not by fucking peasants. Not by pages. Not by children. You respect your elders. He does not. He thinks he's, ooh, my cat's growling. Who's at my house? My doorbell's ringing. Who is here? Oh, it's my dad. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to let y'all go. I hope you had a wonderful day. It must be getting late. My dad's here. I got to get it bath and I got to get around. So, hi, Pops.
You got a thing on your door.
Oh, yeah, I know. I got to go down and pay that. See? Bills. All right. I will talk to y'all later. I'm going to get a bath. And,
You're getting the bath now?
I'm going to I'll see y'all soon.
Yeah, just get your bath.
Bye.
I got to drain